are back and talking about squats. Julie and I just said, do we want to talk about squats or do we want to talk about lunges? We decided squats because that's a foundational move for a lot of the exercises that we do here. So we're going to talk about body positioning, knee positioning, what your feet are doing, and from there you're going to find whatever, what do I want to say, like whatever width your feet need to be at in order to get your squat to be comfortable. For me, for Amber, my body, I get about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit more, and I turn those toes out just a tiny bit. That's what keeps me grounded, where I can find like a 3-point connection with my feet and the ground. So we don't want to lose our heels or our toes when we squat down. We want everything positioned on the floor. I can feel all my toes. I make sure that everything is down nice and easy. From there, I'm gonna pretend like somebody took a little karate chop right at my hips. Just a little one though, right? So I'm standing straight up right now. Think about a little karate chop right here, and then I've got that booty popped out just a tiny bit, and from there I'm gonna sit straight down into that squat. That's about where mine stop. I know a lot of times people go all the way down to that ground, but then I get a little, what's called a butt wink, where my booty sort of turns under, and we don't really want that, right? So again, we're standing straight up, our glutes are engaged, we got a little karate chop, and then we're gonna sit down into that squat. Now you may have heard during your journey or before your journey started that your knees should never go over your toes. That's a real outdated thing to think about when you're doing your squats. Your knees are naturally gonna track over your toes, and you want them to. You want them to track in the same direction that your toes are going. I'm gonna turn this way just so you can see what I'm talking about when I say that they're not tracking. So when I squat, watch how my knees go straight over those toes in the same direction. What we don't want is we don't want our knees collapsing inward like this. And that's what happens to a lot of our squats at the bottom. We, like our knees collapse, they come concave, and then we're off of our balance, and it's tougher to stand up. So we want those knees tracking with the toes, sitting down, and then rising back up. My trick for doing squats, if you're holding a weight, if you're holding a kettlebell, if you're holding any kind of resistance, is to inhale on the way down and then exhale to rise. And I think that's a really good trick to implement for any kind of squat, whether you're doing them with weights, without weights, jump squats, anything. It just gets you into the right habit, and then as you add weights or even a barbell onto your back, it's easy to keep that core nice and engaged. So again, a tiny karate chop so that our hips are back and that our glutes are engaged. We take that big deep breath in, pretend like you're squatting into a tank of water, down on the way, inhale on the way down, and then exhale and rise. And there's your squat. Now, if you wanted to, you could bring those feet together for a narrow squat, or you can widen them for a sumo squat. If you're gonna widen them for a sumo squat, at the bottom of that squat, you wanna make sure that those legs are straight up and down and that those knees aren't collapsing at the bottom. So get in that position at the bottom to see exactly where you make a nice square and those legs are nice and vertical, and then we're gonna stand up. And again, it's still that inhale down and that exhale to rise. So hope that helps. Get a mirror, get a camera, video yourself, check out your form, and you will have it down perfect.